Have you ever felt that the more you try to make sense of the world, the less you feel understood by others? That the more you try to speak truth, the fewer people want to listen? Think of Confucius, who taught ethics in a time of chaos, or Hypatia, a brilliant woman philosopher, torn apart by a mob. These weren't villains, they were visionaries, so why did society turn on them? Deep thinking has always been met with resistance, not because it's wrong, but because it threatens what people believe they already know. You're not imagining it, and when those are challenged, our brain interprets it not as insight, but as threat. Throughout history, the greatest minds, those who dared to question the unquestionable, were rarely welcomed. They were misunderstood, mocked, or even punished. When you meet someone who is physically powerful, you may admire their strength. Our ancestors survived not by being the most thoughtful, but by being the most accepted. A 2021 study, Oxford, found that people felt more comfortable around intellectuals in one-on-one conversations, but in groups. The same intellectuals triggered defensiveness, competition, and even hostility. The more intelligent you appear, the more others fear being judged. Deep thinkers, you become a mirror, and not everyone likes what they see reflected back. In tribal times, being different could mean exile, and exile meant death. So even today, our minds still cling to safety and sameness. They're the ones who threaten the tribe's fragile unity. When someone is wealthy, perhaps you feel inspired or envious, but when you meet someone with a mind sharper than yours, something different happens. Social media doesn't reward nuance, it rewards certainty. It favors loud over wise, emotional over rational. The deeper your thought, the harder it is to go viral. After all, it's hard to explain the complexities of existential dread or Kantian ethics in 15 seconds. It doesn't just challenge what you know, it challenges who you are. Even when the world wants noise, be the silence that causes people to pause. You are part of a lineage of seekers, questioners, rebels of the mind. And though society may not always understand you, history remembers you. Be the whisper of reason in a room full of shouts. And in such a climate, deep thinkers are not just ignored, they're buried. To understand this, we must first realize something uncomfortable. Human beings don't fear ignorance. They fear the discomfort of truth. Thinkers who break molds, question dogma, and confront they are the ones who move civilization forward, even as society pulls them back. Let's break this down. As philosopher Emil Cioran once said, "It is not worth the bother of killing yourself, since you always kill yourself too late." Create spaces where thoughtfulness isn't mocked but magnified. In his bleak but honest view, thinking deeply often leads not to answers, but to anguish. Find those few who do want to go deeper. Speak for the ones still searching. A deep thinker doesn't simply bring new ideas to the table. They reveal the cracks in the table itself. And for most people, that's terrifying. Because intelligence isn't just knowledge, it's identity, it's belief, it's worldview. This is what psychologists call identity threat. It's not just the fear of being wrong, it's the fear of not knowing who you are anymore. It's not because your ideas are invalid. It's because they disturb the psychological comfort zones of those around you. In group settings, intelligence becomes a social liability. But this fear doesn't come from malice. It's evolutionary. That's why when you bring up complex ideas in casual settings, existentialism at a dinner table or metaphysics at a party, you're often met with awkward silence. And it gets more complicated, think about that. The very presence of a deep thinker can make others feel exposed, not because you're judging them, but because they're judging themselves through you. This is called the reflective threat. And in today's world, this discomfort is amplified. We now live in a time when popularity often outweighs insight, where simple answers are more celebrated than difficult truths. But here's the paradox. Humanity's greatest progress comes from those very minds we try to silence. And yet, deep thinkers continue to think not because it's comforting, but because it's necessary. So what can we do in a world that doesn't always welcome thoughtful minds? The answer isn't to withdraw. It's to build quiet alliances. And most importantly, don't stop thinking. Yes, you may feel isolated at times, but you are not alone. So think deeply, speak carefully, and never apologize for seeing what others refuse to see.